I can remember, like it was yesterday. Like I can remember, the night, Steve won the belt, and Vince taking me to the side and, basically saying, from here on in, you don't ever leave, Steve's side. You are with him 24/7. Nothing else matters. You're with him. And, I worked, really, really closely, with all the talent. I mean, from Mick to Rock to DX, it was really, really like, a team effort. Everybody was in for the ride, and, we just went with it.
Yeah.
It was, there were no arguments. There was no fighting. Everybody just seemed to be on the same page. And, more importantly, man, it was just the time where just everybody was just so on top of their game that's why I don't think there'll ever be another period like that again, because so many things fell into place and so many things, worked to capacity. I don't think you can ever get that again. Me and Vince were sitting there writing the TV during this period.
Yeah.
That was it. It was me and Vince. And, I'd say there were a handful of times when maybe a top talent went to Vince the day of TV and wanted to do it a different way. And, I mean, Vince would, call me directly in there, with him, and we discussed it. But if that happened, 3 times over that, 5-year period, it was a lot. I can almost point out the times that it happened. That did not happen frequently at all. What we had written that we brought to TV, 95% of it is what you saw on TV.
Yeah.
Well, I scripted their promos then. I mean, everything was scripted then up until when I left TNA, 2 years ago. So, I mean, all that stuff, they got a script. And then, I worked with them, on the script. Sometimes they went off script. But, I mean, when I started writing TV, and I was the one writing the formats, back that far, every single word was scripted. What I hear today is like when they're given a scripted promo today, that they have to stick to every word in that promo. That's what I hear. I don't know if that's true. It wasn't like that back then. I mean, I would write a promo for Shawn. I would write a promo for Mick, Rock, Steve, you name it. Give them their promo, then at that point we would discuss it, and it would be a collaboration between the two of us.
Yeah.
And I mean, never at any point would I have told anybody, this is your promo, you need to go out there and do this word for word. That's ridiculous, because I had to write, basically an outline for them of, this is what I think you should say, this is what you need to get across. At that time, they have to take that, and they have to put that into their own, personality, with their own flavor into it, and that's why you had to work with the talent. But, if it's a case today where, a writer writes something and, a talent's got to go out there and read it verbatim, it definitely isn't going to work, because you do need that input from the talent. It became stressful when SmackDown was added.
Yeah.
When all of a sudden you go from 2 hours to 4 hours, you don't increase the writing team, and at the time it was just Ed Ferrara and myself, and back then every show was life and death for me. I never phoned anything in, whether it